Marquesian with Mother Earth News. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to go over two very simple, very easy projects to help reduce waste around the home. So we're going to go over how to make wool dryer balls and how to make reusable paper towels. All right, so we'll start with the dryer balls. These can be used in place of dryer sheets, and they're really nice because they don't contain the chemicals that can be found in a lot of dryer sheets. And they also can help dry your clothes faster because they toss everything around in there nicely, so it can save you a little bit of money there. That I know of, there are two ways to make these. You can either make them using wool yarn or wool roving. Whichever you choose, just make sure that you're using 100% wool. So nothing acrylic and no blends, or else it's not going to felt up nicely, which is necessary for these to work. So to make the ones out of yarn, you'll take either a skein of yarn, or if you have an old wool sweater, this is a really great project to use that up, just deconstruct it. So you're going to start and wrap your yarn around your fingers a few times. And then pull it off. And from here, you're just going to start wrapping it around consistently to form a little ball. So just keep going around. Try and do kind of an even number of wraps each turn. And start forming your little ball shape. And it takes me about 10 minutes to make one of these. And you want the final size to be about the size of a tennis ball. So to save time, I have one that's ready to go. So this is what it'll look like. This is about the final size. So once you get to this point, you just need to secure the tail. And if you have like a knitting needle, you can just shove it down in the middle. I secure mine by just tucking it under a few strands. So I just take a wide-eyed needle and thread it through. And then just tuck it in under some strands, and you want to do this 2 or 3 times. That way when you run this through the washer and then the dryer, everything stays in place until it's nice and felted and holds its shape. Okay. And then you'll just snip off the little tail. And then you're going to take the leg of a stocking, which is what I'm using, or if you have a long sock, that will work too. And you're going to put your dryer ball down in the very toe. Just put it down in there, snug it down to the very bottom, and then tie it off. And you're going to need 3 or 4 of these per load of laundry that you do. So go ahead and make a few of them and put them all in your stocking at the same time. And once you've tied off the end, just pop them in your washer on hot with a little bit of detergent. I usually toss mine in with a load of denim or some towels, and then put it all in your dryer on high heat. And for the yarn ones, you're going to need to repeat this 3 or 4 times in order for them to start to felt up. If you're making the ones out of roving, I typically only need to do it twice for them to get nice and felted. To make the ones out of roving, you're just going to take some wool roving, make sure it's kind of in thin strips, and again, it just needs to be 100% wool. And it's the same basic process. You're just going to start tightly rolling it up into a ball shape. And if you have a felting needle, you can take that and kind of secure it as you go. If not, then just kind of keep pressing it between your fingers and in your hands to help hold that shape. And these will shrink down some in the washer and dryer. The yarn ones won't, but these are a lot looser, so they are going to shrink. So you want to make them bigger. I usually make mine about the size of a softball, and then they shrink down to about the size of a tennis ball. So once you've got this to the size that you want it, it's the same process. You're just going to put it in a stocking and run it through the washer and dryer. You can also hand wash both the yarn and the roving ones if you prefer. Just use really hot water and some detergent and make sure you wring them out as much as possible before putting them in your dryer. If you want to scent these, you can put a couple drops of essential oil on them before you put them in with your laundry, and it'll kind of replicate the smell you get from dryer sheets. Okay, the paper towels. This is a project that can really be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. When I first started doing these, I just had a basket of rags under the kitchen sink that I would just tear off from, old sheets, that type of stuff. But I found myself still reaching for my paper towels more than I wanted to. So I decided that I was going to try to find a way to kind of replicate the paper towel feel. So what I've found that works best is using flannel, because it's pretty absorbent and it also has a bit of self-adhesion. So it's going to stick together in this roll. As you can see, you can just pull one off with a paper towel roll. So I made these out of some leftover flannel from a different project. If you have old flannel clothing, this is a really great way to give them a second life. So I cut my strips into about 11 by 12 inches, and then I finished the edges with a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine that I just set slightly over the edge so it kind of secures it. If you have a serger, you can also serge the edges and you can hand stitch them. For a completely no-sew option, you can also use pinking shears and finish your edges that way. Depending on your fabric, that's not going to be as permanent of a finish as the sewing methods, but before I had a sewing machine, I did finish mine using pinking shears, and I got quite a bit of life out of flannel that way. So it's definitely an option. So once you get a few of these, I think I have maybe 15 in this roll, just roll them up one on top of the other and then stick them on your paper towel holder. Again, this is a project that I want to stress is really all about what works for you. I've seen them made with snaps on either end of the towels, and you can snap them together and roll them up. If a basket of rags is what works for you, then that's great. Just experiment and find what's going to motivate you the most to stop relying as much on paper towels. So both of these projects, they also make really nice gifts. The holidays are coming up. They also make really nice housewarming gifts. Can package a few dryer balls with a bottle of essential oils and a roll of paper towels, and it's a really nice housewarming gift. All right, thank you for watching. I hope that you feel inspired to give one or both of these a try and to start thinking of ways to reduce waste in your home. Bye!